Good morning, good morning, good morning. How y'all doing this morning? Hold on, we're gonna try it again. We're in church. Good morning, church. Y'all doing good this morning? All right, well, look, I ain't gonna be before you long. My name is Charmon Pittman. I am a pastor. I am a student. When I say I'm a student of life. I love learning. I would not be here today without the support of my mentor, my big brother, my therapist, my counselor, Tyler Burns. So thank you, big bro. I appreciate you. So I'm honored to be here today. I wrote a little something to share with you all, and I hope it touches you. Amen? All right. Ouch! My head. There goes an invisible ceiling. You know the ones that come stand at issue when you black? No matter where I go, I always seem to hit this invisible ceiling. Where do we start on this journey? Mental, physical, or emotional healing? At a disadvantage from the beginning, if I could only break through and just be me without the stigma and the stain and the idea of what I ought to do or who I ought to be. Invisible ceilings made for just you and me. Invisible ceilings made for just you and me. Black horror is normalized. We're penalized before we even step between the lines. You know, just like shut up and dribble, or sit down in the studio and scribble words onto a page that encourage my brothers and sisters not to age. Speak up, but don't speak too loud, because it will be a problem if I create too much of a crowd. It's like suicide speaking power to black lives. They took our leaders every time we tried to unify. Whenever there's progress, another leader has to die, time after time. You know this happened to Jesus too? Speaking truth to power got him hanging from a tree, similar to our noose. Here we go again. Invisible ceilings made for just me and you. On my black mirror, I see no changes. Can a brother get a little peace of mind and mind? I try to change the channel, but the program it's consistent. It appears that our horror is for their enrichment. We went from Emmett Till, Rodney King live to the George Floyd homicide. We went from Rosa Parks, Sandra Bland to Breonna Taylor. And the only resolve we may get is a check in hand that could never amount to the loss of a life. More broken promises and more lies of the land. Speaking of the land of the free, it's more like a minefield to me. Careful now, every step towards freedom and justice can be very dangerous. When my voice is considered the gun and my words are like hollow tips that pierce through the armor of white supremacy. If we weren't slaves, we were considered a second-class citizen. So to them, how could we ever be equal? Here we go again. Invisible ceilings made for just me and you. Here we go again. Invisible ceilings made for you and me. The crack epidemic was designed to make zombies out of my people, not to make ambitious hustlers and businessmen equal. The scales were unbalanced from the beginning. Racial disparity in sentencing left commas for them, but periods for us. Crack is whack, I agree, and that should apply to all of us. But for them, a slap on the wrist, or go home, no frisk. But no harm, no foul in their eyes. But a janitor couldn't help them clean up them lies. 3 strikes got us out of the home and them into office. For every step forward, we lost another life. It appears to me animal cruelty is more important than black life. They won't even think twice. But here we go again. Invisible ceilings made for just me and you. The church in America has been more of a mistress than a bride, complacent in race wars and genocide. hiding behind scriptures misused to support their agendas, Jesus wouldn't recognize her as his bride. She's been such a pretender. Jesus stood up to those who abused their power, not come alongside them to rise to power. You see, the kingdom is empowered through love, not through the love of power. It's time to rise up because this is our hour. No longer can we sit sideline and watch the scandals on the field. We have to interrupt the game. And I'm not just talking about with the kneel, respectfully, but with power and demonstration that Paul speaks of in Corinthians. We must not try to diminish our voice or retreat because we're black. In the midst of our pain, we must rise like Christ did on the third day. And continue to strive even with a limp and tears in our eyes. Beautiful things can be birthed through pain. A rose from the concrete path is the same. There goes those ceilings again. There goes those ceilings again. So many years of losing seasons. I wonder if we ever win. But then again, I have to remember, if it's not good, then it's not over. And through it all, God is right there. Just look over your shoulder. Thank you.